Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. Sorry, my channel's been a little bit quiet lately. I've had a sinus infection, and then last weekend I lost my voice, and it's finally coming back to me. So I am very happy to be able to live stream again today, and we are going to start with these sketches from this March 2023 Creative Memories Virtual Crop, and I'm going to be putting together sketch number 1 using the Endless Meadows collection. I'm actually going to do a single page layout and a double page layout with this collection because that's the one that was voted for the most on my community tab on YouTube. So if you haven't voted or subscribed yet, please do. Well, you can't vote now because I've already decided which collections I'm going to use for this month's crop, but you can always come to my channel the Monday before next month's crop, which is always the second Saturday of the month, and you can put in your vote for what collection you would like to see me use next month. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the sketches. Just takes a moment for me to get things switched over here. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay, let's do this. All right. Okay, so here we go. This is sketch number 1, and I always hold up my sheet with the measurements on it for you all to get a quick screenshot. Looks like because I've adjusted my focus and I adjusted my light a little bit, so I'm actually going to just go to this corner and then I'll go down to this other corner because that's where most of my writing is for sketch number 1, which was kind of fun. It's a simpler sketch for sure. Y'all know I don't really follow the measurements, even though now we do have measurements on these, because I like to give you other ideas of things that you can do with the sketches. And you can follow the measurements put out by Home Office now, or you can get some other ideas from me, however you want to do it. So I have a sheet of canary cardstock. Oh, let's get this focus going. There we go. I have a sheet of canary cardstock for our base of our page. Okay, let's hope this does. I'm gonna have to go a little bit slower. I'm so used to just kind of moving things along. And then I pulled out the sheet with the diamonds on it coming down, and it has a little bit of a yellow undertone. So it really is complemented nicely by the canary cardstock. And that one actually is gonna go up towards the top here. But first, I also have, okay, this one is, I'm sorry, what did I cut this one to? 9.5 by 11 3/4. So it's 9.5 this way and 11 3/4 this way, because what I want to do is I essentially want it to be framed on 3 sides by 1/4 of an inch of the canary cardstock. And I actually thought about cutting out a frame and just leaving the inside of my page gutted, but then I decided to just go ahead and layer it on. And I know that sometimes makes the books a little bit heavier, but it just seemed like it would add a little extra stability this time as well. So I also have the sheet that has the almost watercolor effect on the back with the purples and greens and yellow, but I'm going to be using this grassy effect on the opposite side of the page. And I've already punched it with my, I forgot to show you guys. Hang on, I've got it right here, but I put it down. Flourish Vine. It was one of my favorite border cartridges from this last year. The Flourish Vine Border Maker is what I've punched the bottom of this piece with. And so I went ahead and punched it first on one end, and then I cut the piece at 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and start sticking this down. And then you can see I also pulled out another punch box here. But hold on, because I don't always use so many punches and things on my pages. I try to keep them simple, but for this one, it just seemed to really need a little bit of extra. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get some tape runner going onto this. It's essentially a little border piece for the bottom of our page. And if you haven't seen my parchment board before, I've got my electrical tape on the back side. Oh, hi, Deborah. Thank you for joining me. So I'm very glad you were able to come on. I'm glad I posted when I was going to be on this time. That's one thing I do miss about my other live streaming softwares, that it let you all know when I was going to be on. But now I'm going to try to be better about posting. And I think I'm going to try to get 2 of these in before lunch and then maybe the other 2 after lunch. But anyway, so here I'm just leaving just ever so slightly, maybe about 1/8 of an inch at the bottom of the page underneath the flourish vine border there. So you can see it's basically almost exactly to the bottom of the page, but not quite. And then I am actually going to grab my mat. Hang on. Y'all know I usually don't fuss too much with the measurements, that I usually try to just eyeball it. But for this one, I really do want it to be 1/4 of an inch around, because I just think it looks neater that way. And I'm going to go ahead and do it this way on my 13 by 13 cutting mat. Let me see. This is not straight. Here we go. So my 1/4 of an inch is here and here. So I'm in and down. And then let's make sure. Nope, that's not quite there. Oh, maybe I do wind up with, what did I say? Oh, because I did the 9.5 down. 11 3/4 should get me. Hang on. Well, that's okay. This is going to be about right. So see, even with the ruler, I'm still fussing a bit. That's okay. Bringing it down just a little bit. I do want it centered. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Take that away. Usually I put my non-skid thing underneath there so that way it doesn't slide around, but I'm going to go ahead and so it does overlay the green grass bottom just a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I really liked that it actually did kind of go completely to the edges. And on our sketch, it does show the border kind of running the full way, but then it has a much smaller space. They did 10.5 by 8.5. And I really just wanted to be able to use up more space, because if you've watched my channel before, you know I like larger pictures and I love to use the mats. So the next thing I've done is, I wonder if I should put my mats on first and then build my bottom, because I punched from the same paper here, this diamond paper, one of our field fence borders using our border punch. So like I said, I don't usually do too many borders, but this one just seemed to call for it. It just fit the sketch well. So this is going to go down here. Maybe I should go ahead and put that on. That'll fit right over our grass. And I just thought it looked, I don't know, it just fit nicely. Make sure I grab the correct tape runner, because you want to make sure you're using your repositionable tape on all these little punched out bits here. And, whoops. Okay, come on. There we go. Trying to get across the actual X's on the fence part and trying to make sure that our fence posts are going to get put down and nice and steady and stable here. So this is going to go just above our flourish vine at the bottom here. And I just kind of thought it was pretty because it made the flourish vine kind of looks like little flowers growing kind of below, and a little grassy feel below our fence, and the little yellow pops through and you can kind of see everything coming here. And it just looks pretty to me anyways. And then, of course, I shouldn't say of course, but I have several mats. So I grabbed out 3 of our 4x6 mats. So I have 2 that I'm going to put up here. And yes, these will get covered with my pictures, but it's just so nice to have something that's already preset and ready for me to go ahead and put my pictures on. And then I took these other 2, and you can see the other halves of them here on my right side. There we go, getting myself on the camera a little better for you. So this one was a 4x6 as well, but I just liked the little honeycomb. It just seemed to go well with our diamond pattern. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one for a photo mat or if I'm going to use this one for a photo mat. But one of these are going to wind up being my journal box. This one was one of our 4.5x6.5 mats, and that's going to go down here. And then our other one's just going to go up here in the corner. And I just thought it just really seemed to fit the page well. And then I do have a few stickers. And in fact, I have an extra sticker for here as well. Because like I said, this one just screams borders to me. So that's what we're doing. So here we go. This one winds up being 3 inches by 4 inches. So I cut it directly in half of the mat. And then this one winds up being 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Again, I just put it on my 12-inch trimmer and I cut it exactly in half. So I love the mats. They just really help to fill in our spaces so nicely. They complement our collection so well. They're inexpensive and they just make life easy. Now, if you don't have the mat pack for this collection, go ahead and use some of your canary cardstock and just make mats out of that. And that'll work too. In fact, you just would pull in this yellow again and it would be beautiful as well. But for me, I just, I love the mats and I love to show you all the mats. So that's what I did. And I'm kind of trying to give it a little bit of a frame again. I will hold this closer to the camera once I get it put together. I'll put this one a little bit over. And I do kind of want to line it up about the same quarter. It's between probably 1.5 inch-ish. Dare I say 3/8? I don't know. When I was doing my practice run, I kind of looked at my measurement and one of them said 3/8. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't do anything at 1/8 of an inch. So we'll just figure it out. Okay. So now I have several of our stickers and I pulled out these extra birds. I'm not sure if we're going to wind up using them or not. Whoops. Okay. Come on and focus already. I don't know if I can handle that, everybody. It's going to drive me nuts, but I think it does make the image sharper for you. So I have the sounds of spring. I've got a couple more of the little flying bugs. I don't know if it's a fly or a bumblebee, something. And then we also have in this collection a border sticker with the songbirds as well. And that is what's going to go on our field fence and kind of just really bring back in our yellows again as well. So our birds are going to be sitting on our fence down here at the bottom of our page, if I can get it lined up where I want it to line up. So it actually looks like the birds are sitting on the fence. Here we go. Okay. No foam squares on this one. I know. And then you can easily just kind of not really pressing down too hard with this part. Hang on. At least I didn't think I was. So I'm going to make sure to just kind of go up just a little bit under with it with my multi-purpose tool, because when I put my picture, I want my picture, I don't know, my picture may wind up going over those birds, but we'll see once I get to that point. And I am also going to add our sounds of spring because, of course, we have all these birds on this page. Granted, these will disappear, but I just thought, we have all these songbirds. Let's put this sounds of spring sticker from our sticker pack on here. And yes, now I'm going to pull out the small foam squares and we are going to pop this up and we're going to pop up our little bugs as well. Like I said, I don't know if they're flies or bumblebees. I guess in spring you get a lot of all of them anyways, especially if you live somewhere with a lot of agriculture. Here in New Mexico, they tend to come out a little bit later along with the tarantulas. But, we don't have tarantula stickers, so probably just as well there. All right. And then actually we may wind up with a couple of birds here too, because I think we need just that little bit of extra color as well. So let's see here. Maybe let's get the birds first. And these I'm not going to pop up. I'm just going to, I'll put this one right by our sounds of spring. And our other one, maybe we'll go on this end too. We'll just put them both above our sounds of spring. And then we'll have our little flying guys, which I wanted to pop it up. Let me grab my scissors because we're going to have to do let me put that here, the cutting of the foam squares, where you can take them and you just cut it while it's on the sheet here. And we're just going to cut it on a diagonal because in that way it's going to make it small enough to fit on the small part of this sticker. So I did 2 of them with my microtip scissors, which also, if you all have watched my channel, you know I love. And got a couple of comments. Thank you so much for the hearts. And let me get this sorted out here. And here we go. Okay, so I'm going to try to bring this closer so you can see how those 2 half foam squares just really fit nicely underneath there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these across the page. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab these other 2. I don't think we have any other stickers here. Sometimes they put little white stickers in the white backgrounds, and you need to pay attention before you throw your stickers away. So that way you're not throwing away an actual sticker instead of just the white background for a sticker. So here, this one needs to go this way. And this one can go over here. Whoops. Sometimes it's harder working with these little pieces, but it winds up being worth it in the end because you do get that effect of having these things popped up. And we'll have this one going this way. So there we go. That is our first sketch from the virtual crop. I will bring out the sketch again. Here is our sketch with all of my dimensions on it. And here is the finished page. I hope you all have enjoyed seeing this first sketch. I will be on again, and hopefully within the next hour. It should be less than an hour for me to get the next one set up, and we'll get another sketch done. Until next time.